and the way that waves propagate, how P and S waves can be blocked by something that exists on the flat Earth, and it can block it in the manner that would cause earthquake shadows all the way around the ring of the flat Earth, as well as other places in the southern hemisphere.
Not a big deal, Snack.
It absolutely is a big deal.
Have you seen Walter Bislin's model?
This has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Well, you want a model for the flat Earth, right?
Doesn't have anything what I'm talking about. Unless you can show how on your flat Earth model you can recreate the exact measurements that we observe, the phenomena that we observe, and the measurements that we take, it means nothing to me.
Easily done, Snack. Easy.
Okay, so why hasn't anybody ever done it? Because you're just saying how it could work. You're not showing me how it does work.
They presuppose a globe, Snack.
All you're doing is telling me how things could work on your imaginary flat Earth, but I'm not seeing any substance. What about an experiment to test? How could earthquake shadows be cast on a flat Earth? Much less be cast in a ring all the way around the edge of the flat plane. It just doesn't make it doesn't make sense according to everything we know about physics. It doesn't make sense.
Well, if we drop the assumption of a core, it's just traveling on the surface. The surface is wrapped around a core on the globe model. If we drop that idea of a core, it's just traveling on the skin of the freaking orange and just going across the land surface. So the only thing that we would need to drop is the assumption of a possibility. So not it's core at all.
We could consider that as a possibility if it weren't for the fact that the denser material is, the faster that waves propagate through it, right? So because the crust, the surface of the Earth, is the least dense part of the interior sphere of the Earth, the surface waves, travel a lot slower than the primary and secondary waves, the P and S waves, the compressive and the longitudinal waves. So by the time the surface waves reach a part of the globe, the P and S waves have already reached that part.
That's all
because they are traveling faster.
Based on a presupposition, Snack.
Okay, it's based on a model where it works. If you can explain how this could possibly work on the flat Earth, we could use that as a model where it works. But you can't. And Lemonbird, if you knew the first thing, I'm not an expert, I'm not a seismologist, but the fact that you think that there's just surface waves, as if they can't tell the difference between a surface wave and a longitudinal or compressive wave, it shows you haven't done even the barest bones amount of research to stand in a ring with me. Go back to the drawing board, Lemonbird.
Well, the only thing that's the difference between me and you is I'm willing to challenge the narrative. You have the slavish hero worship for these scientific people, despite the fact that they get stuff wrong. They have their own agendas and their own axes to grind and their own inconsistencies. So that's the only difference between me and you. I'm willing to challenge the narrative. You just slavishly worship it and obey it.
Challenge it with what?
Pretty much so, Snack. You like
what are you what are you challenging it with? You haven't presented any challenges. You're just saying, well, if on a flat Earth it could just be surface waves, but it can't be, because we know that there are different waves being produced, and we can detect these different waves before we detect surface waves.
It's all based
on
a
presupposition. What if the earthquake is electrical? What if it's from an electrical discharge within the Earth that branches out on the surface? We got to look at other models. We assume that there's some
if that were the case,
that travels from the surface
down. What if it was unicorns?
Maybe it's traveling from the inner part of the Earth outward.
What if it was unicorns?
It's electric unicorns?
Yeah. What if it's electric unicorns?
Now what, Lemon?
At what point in time do we just say that's not? There's no evidence that would make me believe that that's the case.
Consistent. They're talking about a globe, but we don't have evidence of curvature at all, other than NASA's.
But we do. This is evidence of curvature, though.
No, you can reinterpret it over a flat plane.
No, you can't. Then do it. I've already shown you repeatedly how you tried and failed. You just throwing shit up against the wall until something sticks is not doing what you think it's doing.
Hey, Lemon.
Well, you could. You could reinterpret it that way, but there's a maximum IQ level. You know, there's a cutoff. Above that IQ, you're not going to be able to interpret it in Lemon's way.
Well, let's talk about surface waves. When an earthquake in Chile creates a tsunami, and the tsunami gets to New Zealand and California at the same time, they can only occur with the shape and arc of the surface of the water. Because on your flat, stupid map, New Zealand and Los Angeles are like twice as far apart from Chile. So go figure that one out.
So it would just travel on the flattest surface. What's the problem?
But it can't. There are different types of waves. Lemon, they do detect surface waves up to a certain point, but there are other waves that travel through the Earth faster than the surface waves because they travel faster through a denser medium.
Just like you're relating the speed of propagation to the density of the medium. That's not a one-to-one correlation. We line up.
It is. It's not a one-to-one, but it is a fact.
And it's not a one-to-one correlation.
I don't know what you mean a one-to-one correlation. Waves will always travel faster through a denser medium.
It's not a one-to-one correlation.
What are you talking about? A one-to-one correlation? Waves will travel faster through a denser medium.
Correlate in a one-to-one with the speed of at least sound wave propagation through these materials.
Yes, it does. I don't know. I take it back. I don't know what you mean by one-to-one. What I do know, Lemonbird, it is a fact that the denser the medium, this is a scientific fact that I was able to demonstrate back in, we used to test waves through like the air with sound waves and mechanical waves through solids, and we always noticed and sound and water travels much faster than sound in the air, and waves sound is just a wave, and waves in an actual solid matter, the denser the matter, the faster the wave will travel. That is a fact of nature.
Yes, but it's not a one-to-one correlation with these solid substances.
I don't know what you mean by one-to-one correlation. That's just something you've made up.
You get the density lined up side by side with the propagation of sound through the material, and it's not one-to-one. Sometimes
it will always go faster whenever it's going through something denser.
One-to-one correlation. So we got to test even that assumption.
All
it might
things
just
being the same, the denser the material, the faster the waves will travel. Period.
That is a generalization, but that is not quite necessarily true. So we're going to need to.
Can you show me all other things being equal? Waves travel faster through denser material. That's just a fact of nature. You can't.
We don't even know what's down there. It could be traveling through undersea caverns. It could be an electrical discharge from within the Earth. There's too many other possibilities.
Okay, but do you have any evidence that that's the case?
We need to line up materials that are solid.
Okay, so that's a no. That's a no. It was a yes or no. It was a yes or no question. So you're saying no, you don't have any evidence that that's the case. So when you do have evidence that that's the case, then you could use that as an argument against what I'm saying. But you cannot use the possibility of there being earthquake farting unicorns as an argument against what I'm saying if you don't have any evidence that there are earthquake farting unicorns.
Earthquake farting unicorns. You need to stop being a smarmy bastard and accurately relay the position of your opponent. I talked about subterranean caverns. I talked about us not really knowing what's even down there, number 2. And number 3, I talked about the lack of one-to-one correlation between the density of solid elements and the propagation rate of their sound. Accurately represent my side and quit doing this smarmy misrepresentation that you always do because you want to be a smart, special boy and not have to deal with your opponent's position. This makes talking to you insufferable. For once in your life, be honest and stop being a dishonest fucking gamma.
Well, how would subterranean caverns how would subterranean caverns transmit energy?
Gamma, low status male. Defining quality is not honest to himself or others. Women in
Lemon. How does one transmit seismic waves through air in a cavern? Why does that improve your argument? Oh, did I disconnect?
That was just an emotional rant. There's no factual basis for anything he was projecting.
Yeah. And for Lemon's cheerleaders, I'd like to point out he still hasn't provided any evidence to support his claims. I've got, I used to post this this earthquake simulator, and I did not know that there were other earthquakes with the simulator, which led me to an earthquake where an earthquake shadow was cast across the entire continent of Antarctica, which was really useful in proving my point. Pretty much, there's a good chance that if there's an earthquake in the northern hemisphere, it's going to cast an earthquake shadow onto Antarctica, and it happens all the time. And I wonder why that is. Why is there an earthquake shadow being cast on Antarctica if Antarctica is a ring around the flat Earth? I don't get that.
Yeah,
but anyway,
is just
there's
pure nonsense and speculations and based on assumptions. Snack. There's nothing here practical that we can demonstrate that proves. That
it's just confirmed measurements and observations and data to confirm.
Yeah, but again, there's
to demonstrate my point.
Nothing substantial, practical that shows.
No data or anything except for the data I provided you, right?
So what else do you have to show us that we're on a ball?
I think I've pretty much demonstrated you guys have no defeater for seismic shadows, so I think I'll stick with that.
That's a made-up concept. What do you have practical?
When you except it's not. You okay? So you made a claim, Chemo. You made a claim. You made a claim,
your device
that it is a made-up concept. Could you please provide evidence that it's a made-up concept? That's a negative.
You got to prove the positive.
So, but you made a claim.
Yeah,
you made a claim. It is a made-up concept. That's not a negative. That's you making a positive claim that it's something that's made up. Could you please demonstrate to me that seismology is made up?
It can not be proven. Negative, not.
Made up. That's not
a positive claim, Chemo.
But it's negative. I'm saying it's not.
Hey, Chemo. Chemo, shut the fuck up. Because I can, with proving a negative, having the positive claim, I can demonstrate that to be true. I can, like the negative claim. Santa Claus doesn't have a factory at the North Pole. Guess what? I can demonstrate that Santa Claus does not have a fucking house or a warehouse or a shop at the fucking North Pole. So yeah, you used a positive claim, even though it's attempting to prove negative. You still adopted the burden of proof to show that it is fantastical.
Isn't it supposed to be hidden under ice?
What?
So instead of having somebody derail, address what the fuck I said, because you made a claim. You made a positive claim.
No, not a positive claim.
Yeah, it is a positive claim. Yes, you can. I just fucking gave you a demonstration of how. Proving a negative.
So you have to show something else that's positive that takes place as a negative. You have to show something else that's positive takes place at the negative you're trying to disprove. You'd have to infer and do it by influence, but you have no positive evidence to present for a negative. How do you present evidence for nothing?
I can go to the North Pole, Lemon, and demonstrate that fucking Santa Claus doesn't have a toy factory there.
Okay, so you'd have to demonstrate the positive existence of air and a space of just air and snow as opposed to a factory.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but you're stopping with just a little bit of the.
And you cut out.
The story is, he's under ice too, isn't he? So you couldn't go there and find him unless you found the North Pole.
So to prove the negative, you have to provide a positive that replaces the negative.
It's reality. At what point in time did Santa Claus's fucking factory go from being at the North Pole to underneath the North Pole under the ice?
It's hidden, man.
In the movie The Santa Claus?
Oh, it's hidden. Yeah. Oh, it's hidden. Congratulations. Yeah, moving the goalpost, you fucking monk. Instead of trying to to get Chemo out of demonstrating his claim.
Why'd you bring up
But he did make a good point. It could always be where you're not looking, Curve. That's why you can't ever prove a negative, because you could always be looking in the wrong area and it could positively exist somewhere else. That's why you have to infer it and then make a faith-based declaration that based off of the positive stuff that I've seen instead of this negative thing, I'm going to declare that this does not exist.
Obviously, Patrick.
I thought the North Pole melted these days.
No, Santa Claus moved into the old cells where they used to keep the angels before they moved them to the ice rink. Get it straight.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yes. As
Women,
we proceed. Now look, Snack.
So demonstrate your positive claim there, Chemo.
Snack's still here. Oh, he's bit the dust. Typical, because obviously when you make wild, outrageous claims that you can't back up, you're not going to hang around.
Says the guy that made the wild claims that still sits here every fucking day.
Can't handle the heat.
Or he went back to work like he said.
Yeah. Where he said I'm on lunch.
Snack be saying
and had to go back to work.
Devices prove globe. That's nonsense.
But then again, Chemo's never had a job, so he doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
What about me?
Yes, it's about you.
Not about me. Not about me.
So
yes,
what's
about
is,
Chemo,
what's about?
Why you guys haven't got any science to support your claim? Question.
What's about with the waves, Chemo? Because they haven't been here and they have been talking about the waves. What's about with the wave?
Yeah, he thinks seismic waves or
wave is a disturbance in the medium.
Are you?
Thinking that some kind of shadow is proving curvature, Decodus. Nonsense, right?
No, it's not nonsense. Chemo is not nonsense.
So now you're going to make up shit about what he said?
I have been posted.
Is that what you're going to do, Chemo? That's what
he was preaching.
Yeah, I have been posted.
No, he wasn't. He gave you fucking evidence, you lying cunt.
Already got one God. We don't need another set of preaching gods. And
Prove your God. There you go. Prove your God.
Let's not get into the religious stuff. I'm just saying we've already got one creator. We don't need to listen to.
Prove your creator.
The thing is, we assume that the wave is coming from the surface inward and propagating from there, and propagating faster because it's going through a denser material. That assumption alone needs to be checked, because the wave could be coming from an electrical discharge within the Earth. At that case, it would propagate slightly differently from the inner part outward. So there's a couple key assumptions here that need to be checked, as opposed to it coming from out in. It could be coming from in out or whatever.
Discharge could be coming out of your ass too, but nobody needs
and
to
it could
fucking know
propagate
about that.
in subterranean caverns. There could be different substances down there with different propagation rates. I already said to Snack that there is not necessarily a one-to-one positive correlation between the density of the substances, the elements we have on file, and their acoustic rate of sound transfer. So this is not a one-to-one easy-peasy relationship like we would like to believe. Some go up, some go down. I mean, it's not as correlative as we've been led to believe. So let's look at other models, possibly even flat ones, without this assumption of this core that things are passing through faster to the other side of the Earth because it's a ball.
Could you speak faster? I didn't quite catch that.
So if it haven't been a ball, the radiations of Big Tsar, the bomb that it have been deployed in 1961, didn't hit the other part of the Earth, my friend. So Big Tsar is the biggest bomb that it have been deployed on the Earth by the cretin who have been implied, because fucking hell, we're gonna show Americans how good we are in creating bombs. And the Big Tsar have been created a shock wave that it have been felt on 430 kilometers away from the deployment point.
That was just a shock wave. The geological was further, wasn't it?
And the fucking that bomb, the shock wave that have been going through the Earth, it have been felt in the other part of the Earth, fucking hell, because the shock wave it have been transmitted through the Earth crust like magma. So the waves that are implying in that from that guy who have been spoken previously are real, my friend. I don't know what you having in your assumptions and what you having, because they are not real, but purely only by these things. And I have been reposed again, the Big Tsar, the bomb that have been deployed by the Russians in 1961. And it's proving everything what he have been said.
We have to check these assumptions. This assumption of this ball with a core may just be flat with surfaces on top that the wave is just traveling through from side to side. That's all.
But
it's not an assumption, mate. There are measurements from that deployment that have been seen it around the world, and everybody was shitting on themselves when they have been seen it readings of the Richter scale.
So we have evidence that there's magma at the.
Yes.
The only evidence we have is some sort of liquid down there. They don't even know if it's magma. They need a sample for that.
I mean, how do we
Well,
even know
it's
it's
liquid and
down?
directionality, and also a solid core is also indicated by it, by the shadow.
Lemon, do you believe in plate tectonics? Is that real?
David Platt talks about the problems with plate tectonics. It's a relatively recent theory, only like 50, 60 years old. They were debating it even back then. I'll put it in the chat.
So that's a no, you don't believe in plate tectonics? So like the Hawaiian Islands, how do those form again? Is that not magma coming up from there? What's happening there, Lemon?
How deep is? I mean, could it be a shallow area of magma, or is it?
Not according to seismology.
Hey, Stone, we already determined that Lemon can't speak slow enough for you to understand, so I don't know why you're asking him questions.
No, I'm actually asking y'all. So these machines that read, like, are they reading?
So was I being serious there? Or was I just trying to get him to stop talking so fucking fast? Which do you think it is?
I think it's both. Should be both.
Ah, both. Fair enough.
So do we have machines that are sending off signals down there, or are we receiving signals from down there?
Well, I'm
You know
curious,
what I mean?
Lemon, what is happening with the Hawaiian Islands there?
They're really far south, Stone. We can't even see them. They're so far south.
He basically sends sound waves down there, and how they bounce back up, we infer what's down there based off of the bounce of the sound wave. But those assumptions were challenged by, I think they said it was the Kola Deep borehole, one of those boreholes. They thought they knew it was down there based off of their seismographic analysis or whatever, and they were surprised. They found like this porous material that was melting the drill bit. They found water. They found all sorts of stuff that they weren't prepared to see that was down there or whatever. And so some of this sounding is very inferential and may not necessarily fully determine it.
So what are volcanoes?
Detecting with their machines isn't exactly what they found when they dug down there. Is that what you're saying? Like
basically.
So the machines read one thing, but reality was another.
Yeah.
So what is the reality of magma forming islands? Does that not happen? We don't know that, I guess. We're not informed enough to know that. Or are we just lying about it?
Are we just lying about the consensus? You get the press readout from the consensus and it's this way, but reality is much more complicated. And when we're dealing with materialist atheists like yourself, Stone, and others with little to no dedication to truth, but a Darwinian will to power and to make reality whatever the fuck they want with no submission to any sort of truth of any sort that's beyond them, well, then you can get some really crazy combinations too.
Just a bunch of word salad.
What is a crazy combination?
Stone, you're gonna have to get a dictionary.
Lemon, what is a crazy combination of seeing Vesuvio because it's gonna erupt and you're gonna see the magma? And what is the craziest assumptions? Because we have them on Iceland right now.
Down there. That's not what we find when we do sounding. We find 300 plus miles of extremely thick rock, and they say that there could be more down past even that. We haven't even found the sea of magma that the plate tectonic theory is predicated on. I put the paper in the chat that talks about various problems with the current plate tectonic theory. It is idealized, but all of its parts have not been found. They are assumed in many
All
ways.
of the parts are parts, and they are parts that you put together.
You're applying because California is not. You're applying because California is not in problems right now because of.
Look, just read the freaking paper, dude. It goes over myriad problems with the plate tectonic theory. Just read the freaking paper.
No. I'm talking about real things. For 5 years, no, for 3 years.
Not very good.
4 years. I cannot recall very well, but California it's in seismical problems for 3-4 years. Yeah. So why it's something like that is happened? Why the people from California are shit themselves when the Earth is moving? Why do you think it's happened?
Why is there some sort of plate tectonic thing down there? Let's see what other possibilities are available. Underwater volcanoes. They could be doing deep sea, underground testing of some sort with explosives. There's other stuff that could be going on with that other than plate tectonic puzzle pieces floating on a sea of magma, which we do not find. We do not find puzzle pieces of continents. We infer them at the boundaries of volcanoes, but we don't find puzzle pieces, interlocking pieces of land like they would have us believe.
And the measurements are saying because the California have been moved with 7 inch or something, 8 inch or something from the local position. So why do you think it's happened something like that? If somebody is gonna put bombs over under California.
Because of the problems with the model, the idea that magma erupts out of the land and pushes the plates apart has been likened to thinking that you push 2 thick pieces of metal together real hard and squeeze a toothbrush bottle through the cracks of those 2 metals, and somehow that's going to make it push apart. That's absurd. That's not going to happen. It is too thick. It is too stable, and it would not move.
It have been moved. It's moved from his place from 4 years ago.
So
you
there's
don't understand that.
Models that make the model unacceptable conceptually.
So what you don't get it from moving from his place on the block normal position that it had been measured 4 years ago.
Consequent like you do and say just because we assume something's moving past some sort of plate here, that plate tectonics and all of its conceits are correct. That's not necessarily the case. There's a problem conceptually of big, thick, 300 plus mile slabs of land moving apart in any way, shape, or form without buckling or deteriorating. What force can do that? We're sounding 300 plus miles down, not finding a sea of magma. Where is this magma that you built your model off of? Where is it?
Where's this 300 plus down solid core?
300 plus down.
Paper. I'll put it in the chat again.
It doesn't come up through cracks in the crust like they predict, like volcanoes.
But how to be moving if it's solid, my friend?
Oh, well.
I really don't get it.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
That's a ridiculous statement to believe. How could there be cracks?
I don't see it posted. Did you post it yet?
Does it tell
Anyway,
us
the cracks could have come from the flood where the fountains of the Great Deep broke the surface of the earth open like a shell, and there could be a couple places where this is still the case. From the mountains of the Great Deep breaking open, as opposed to being continental pieces floating on magma or whatever.
And the Great
Did you post it again?
Come up. Oh wait, that's not real.
Explanatory power, please, Lemon. You don't have
All
any.
right, I'm going to go read your retarded article, but did you post it again?
Hold on just a second.
Oh. It's a blog post from somewhere. He's shown it to me before.
Don't worry, it's a flood.
No credibility
What
at all.
did you think? Yes. One blog post, the Gates plate tectonics. Just all
of that.
We have
Well, in Lemon's world, it does.
But he implied because somebody is putting bombs under the earth or something.
Of course
like that.
he does. Because that's the only
That would be
thing
very naughty
he
of them
can
to
think
do.
of. Like, what else could be?
Why do you, Lemon? Why do you believe this asshole?
Because of the level of information that he presents.
The spirituality that he presents.
There's way more information presented on the
Yeah.
other side. I mean, his level is so good.
I tend to know the sources that help me think about the issue in a broader way.
Oh, so translation, it doesn't agree with common models, so you agree that it's right. I see.
Exactly.
Because of the common model's inconsistencies,
Oh, yeah.
another way.
You could say,
You know what?
what?
Does he believe the Earth is round?
David Platt, I believe he is a round earther, yes.
He does reference gravity in this paper.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I wonder why you're doing
I can't get them all right.
The Earth is not flat.
I'm
You
looking
can't get them
over
all
it.
right. People are complicated.
I'm looking over it right now, and he have a picture with a round Earth. So what do you have to say about that?
You don't get it all right. Some things you get right, some things you get wrong. If what you have is an objectively true principle, that translates anywhere.
So you cherry pick. So in this case, you cherry pick what you want just to disprove the tectonical plates.
Are you implying
exactly. Now you're starting to get flat Earth?
everything right? If you're waiting for everybody to get everything right, you're going to be waiting forever because nobody does that.
I just
Why
want
is
to
all this
know how
data
you
old?
think this guy knows he can what's going on below it and how things work, and that's all right, but the shape is wrong.
His paper is not about the shape of the Earth.
The reason he says these things work, you disagree with.
If it was about the shape of the Earth, that's something else. He's talking about the plate tectonic theory.
Guam is going to capsize.
Follow or need the other. So at this point, we could just look at the plate tectonic theory in isolation.
No, you
Guam
can't.
is going to capsize. Quit building military bases on Guam, god damn it.
Underground volcanoes, underground activity of some sort. We need to find this sea of magma first. That's the thing that was the deal breaker for me. If they haven't found the sea of magma, then why are they talking about continental plates floating on a sea of magma?
What do you think comes out of volcanoes?
Well, we do find magma in channels, but we haven't found this
magma
according to the paper.
What is going on with those Hawaiian Islands? It sure does look like that's how they formed. Do you have some kind of alternative theory for how the Hawaiian Islands formed?
Magma came out of the Earth. Where's the sea of magma?
The primary, Lemon, 1 second. The primary motion building in mechanisms in plate tectonics is the later compression caused by collisions.
That could have
don't believe that, no, yo.
So I'm reading.
After the flood, the sea was the surface was nice and soft and waterlogged.
He's talking about the collisions. He's talking about the collisions.
There could be some subduction from that.
Lemon, he's talking about collisions of the plate tectonics. He doesn't have nothing to do with magma. What are you applying?
How are the plates moving if they're not moving on a sea of magma?
But he's not talking about the magma. He's talking about the science that we have it right now. He doesn't know on what kind of distance it's happened.
You need a sea of magma for that to move on. Or you need to provide another mechanism.
So you implied because he talk about the magma, but he doesn't talk about the magma.
So the whole paper by now, you say?
So this guy doesn't talk about the magma. He's talking about.
Do you need a citation?
So yeah, please.
All right, you need a citation.
So
Hold
I
on.
cut out there. I was just curious if you had an alternate theory for the Hawaiian Islands, how they formed.
Magma came out of the Earth and formed it on the top. Notice how I didn't say that magma doesn't exist. We don't find the sea of magma. We only infer its existence based off of lava.
Yeah, I found it. Suggests no. This is what he suggests, my friend. What the technicians are suggesting. Do you have the same paper what I'm reading, or do you have something that you have another paper? And he's talking about the magma chambers that are suggested.
From your source, continental drift. We have horizontal movement of crust plates. It sounds like he's in agreement with plate tectonics to some extent.
Yes, that's my whole point. And mechanism of movement of them.
Lemon, are you saying that that magma and lava are two totally different things?
Magma.
Magma?
You said it wrong.
Isn't that lava?
Yeah, they are the same thing. So magma
is below the surface.
Is below the surface, and lava is what's broken through the surface. It's the same. It's molten rock, the same fucking thing.
Just the location descriptor.
Yes. That's it.
Like
meteorites and asteroids.
How does this prove we're on a ball?
by Lemon. This is a ball. Thank you very much.
Spinning, flying through space.
The paper says it's a ball. The paper also disclaims his initial claim that the Earth or that the plates don't move.
Yeah.
So you're basically just wrong on all fronts. Did you actually read the paper, Lemon, or are you just fucking citing something?
Fuck no, he didn't.
And he talked about the mechanism of movement and how we cannot prove because it's happening on a certain distance. It doesn't have nothing to do of everything else. He's talking about the distances when everything it's happened. Yes, it's a problem. We don't know why everything it's happened on a certain distance and why when it's happened on a little bit higher is going to have another problem. It's going to cause another problem in our movement of tectonical plates. Yes, it's true, but doesn't mean we don't know nothing about the fucking hell the tectonical plates.
The best globe ever.
No. This was evidence brought up by Lemon.
Lemon provided.
Globe.
The best globe evidence, I think, would simplest for a retard to understand is 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I mean, that's way up there.
It seems just confused D-Marble.
Has anybody actually backed it up and
I
looked
agree,
at
Mike. That would be the best evidence. Yeah. That was shown. Game over for the flat.
And it has been shown.
Yeah.
Well, we only hope that's on 24 hours.
D-Marble did. It wasn't in Antarctica, but
I know if that.
There's no contention over the North
Hemisphere. Pole. Flat Earth would be no. I mean, what's wrong with you guys? That should be in great number. Every ball Earther should be armed with a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. One or two.
We've done it.
Some of you say that Antarctica doesn't exist, or you say that all the video has been stitched together. That's what I've heard when
I gave you 14 days of daytime and 13 days of moon. So that's 14 24-hour periods, 28 celestial body days. Then there's a myriad of one-off days. But of course, you're retarded.
Gosh, the thought of you knowing what you were talking about, Mike, would be awful. So if you could prove that, that would be devastating. But,
well, I did show you I showed you the 28 days. Do you not remember that?
No, we're talking a literal 24 hours in Antarctica.
Yes. 28 days is a bunch of 24 hours, dumbass.
No, we don't want it like that. We want actual 24 hours straight.
Yes, that's 28 of those.
Around a circle.
Of course, it was not.
Record, start,
that
0,
was
0,
14
0,
days of daytime
finish
and
24
14
hours
days
later.
of nighttime, roughly.
Probably
27.
That would destroy Flat Earth. No explanation.
It didn't,
Flat Earth
because you're retarded.
Well, no one's shown it, so what are you on about?
No, it has been shown. It's been shown to you specifically.
Oh, in a 2-minute time lapse.
And over and over again.
No.
The kid.
How many times do we need to show it?
Admit you can't show a literal 24 hours and concede that the Earth is not a globe because this can't be demonstrated.
There's video.
Just concede that you have seen 24 hours of sun.
The quicker you do it,
See
it's
that
like
you've
when
seen
you
it,
pull
and that it is a
pasta off
sphere.
or something. Do it quickly.
Give up this bullshit,
Concede quickly.
Just concede. That's all you need to do. We've shown it to you.
You've shown a literal 24 hour.
Yeah.
I bet you £1,000 cash money, Blue, you have not shown a literal 24 hours of sun in Antarctica. Let's put the money where the mouth is.
So, let me clear.
Yeah,
I need to
cough
clear
up that
things
throat
up
because
this
no one
says
has
they're
shown a
lying,
24 hour.
You want a 24-hour video? You want a video that actually runs for
That's
24
right. Cough
hours?
it all up.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, a literal.
It's a time lapse. Okay.
Literal, no time lapse. Literal 24 hours.
At what frame rate?
Oh.
Just a normal.
At what frame
I'll tell you
cam.
what.
No, not normal. What frame rate?
Normal cam, not getting into all your nonsense.
No, normal.
Just take a
not normal. What frame
P1000,
rate?
use a
Tell us the frame rate.
P1000. And
Because
set
you
it up.
will find a problem. Oh, that was 30 frames a second.
Flat
That's
Earth,
not
the
good
camera
enough.
of choice, P1000, set it up, time 24 hours, let
A
it
lot of
record.
those cameras won't run well
Can't
in
do that.
Antarctica. It's too cold.
It won't do that. You know it won't do that, Chemo.
Well, we can't record for 24 hours.
Often have special gear
What
and
camera are you
special
going to use?
batteries when they're in Antarctica.
How do
because
they
it's so
get the original 24 hours then, if we can't do 24 hours? What are you talking about? Duh.
Yeah, that's wrong.
How
What's the
stupid is that
problem
what
with
you've
the
just
time
said?
lapse?
They can't
Duh.
record 24 hours, but they
did
have
it on
recorded
time lapse.
24 hours.
That's a very good point.
Duh.
Over.
So have they recorded 24 hours or they haven't recorded 24 hours?
Yes.
Right, so
At 1 frame per minute or whatever.
But chemo,
Something
they
like
can't
that.
do what you want because it's cold. Remember
What?
that. They can't.
No, the
record.
problem is that nobody wants to devote the resources needed for 24 hours of HD video and simultaneously 24 hours of HD video for 14 days of
Yeah, but they
sunlight
do it in
and
the
14
north.
days of moonlight.
They do it in the north just fine.
No, you don't have a
I
single
mean,
video of 24 hours of the sun in the north.
Yeah, but
drive
what's
and a
his
battery.
name?
You don't have a single video.
But Johnny B is living there, you want to say?
We've had people go up there and do it already, Moy. 24 hours.
They've had people down 24 hours in the South Pole.
Not that you know of.
I personally
Yes.
have seen 23 and a half hours of sunlight in the southern hemisphere.
No.
Really? Where the hell were you?
Really far
Was
south.
that daylight or sunlight?
Sunlight.
So, Blue, you want to
Real-
take
wow.
about
really far
£1,000
south on a scale,
at literal 24 hours in
The
the...
sun, or did you just see the light? Because flat earthers contend that it's light with the sun very far away. Was the sun above the horizon?
Yes, 24
For
hours
most of-
above the horizon.
I'm asking him, did he see the sun itself above the horizon or just the light?
For most of the time, it was above the horizon. There was a brief period where it did dip below, but we still had, 23
Was
and a half
that the
hours.
hour?
Yeah.
So you had no
What
darkness.
time of year was it?
No, it didn't ever get dark.
What time of year was it?
That would have been summer down
think
there.
about your model, quick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You were talking about something that happened 15 years ago. I don't have an exact date, but
Summer down there would have been, what month would have that been?
I want to say it was
December,
right before
January.
Yeah, I want to say it was right before my birthday, so probably end of January.
And you say the
Where would
sun
that
appeared above the horizon.
Yeah.
Because the
Why did you
24
have to
hour
very
sun in
wide?
Hey,
the
Lemon, I have a
Arctic has
question.
the sun
Yeah.
itself above the horizon, but you say the sun dipped. That's a
Hey, Lemon.
little, a bit of a contradiction
Well, now
compared to the northern
No,
Arctic.
No, it's not.
Suspect.
But I have a
It
question.
should be above the horizon at all times, should it not?
Lemon, I have a question for you.
No.
And this is going back to your post earlier. You do realize this is a Mason church that you're quoting, right?
What?
It's a Masonic church that you're quoting. The I don't know how to pronounce this word. Episcopal Society?
Theosophy.
Yeah. It's a church that was invented so that the members could get membership to the Masonic Lodge. Is a Masonic freaking church you're quoting.
You hypocrite. Lemon, you're
Nobody gets
anti-Masonic.
it all right. And as
You're
long as they're not talking about
anti-Masonic,
anything that
though.
goes
Oh my
against the
God.
scriptures, we don't have a
They've
problem.
corrupted
They're
you.
so
They've corrupted
silly,
you,
Lemon.
Lemon. We can't
That
take
we
anything
can't
you
trust
say
them just
seriously.
because they're theosophical, as opposed to talking about their information and whether it has substance. So, can you deal with the substance of what this man has said or not?
Yeah, I forget who did it. A couple of people who are better at that read the report, and you're wrong.
Yeah, cool story, bro. The thing is, this paper talks about the problems with plate tectonic theory, flat
This paper-
or round. That's the
this
main
paper
thing that
was
we have
put
to
out-
talk about.
This paper was put out by Masons.
Yeah, the Masons
I
know it's
remember-
flat. What's the
They're
problem?
Masons at NASA. By that metric, then you wouldn't trust anything at NASA either. That's
What?
just self-defeating, dude.
You don't
gotta
trust
talk about
anything
the
that-
substance itself.
The
You
hostile
don't trust
witness.
anything
So
that
what's the
NASA
problem
says.
here? Let's move forward.
Chemo, stay out of this. You don't trust
you
anything
see?
NASA says, and you immediately throw it out.
What do you mean?
You don't trust anything that
NASA says. If there's something else to refer to what they say, I don't take what they say off of faith alone. If there's stuff that backs up what they say on top of what they say, okay, then we're in business.
I'm so sorry. The middle of my
No,
sentence
wow.
interrupted the beginning
It's
of yours.
Masons. I'm curious what Mason's chemo thinks knows it's flat.
Pretty much all Masons know about the. Well, it depends on what level they're at, but yeah, of course they know the Earth
I
is
know
flat
a
and
lot of
stationary.
Masons. I know 33-degree level Freemasons.
Yeah,
that have been
and they all know that the Earth is flat.
They
don't.
33 is your low-level, local, probably entry before you actually get into the mystery school of truths.
Show me a Mason
level
Glober.
I know people who've been Master Mason for the Grand Lodge.
No, you don't. Show me a Mason Glober.
My father.
Every Mason, ever. Neil Armstrong, George Washington.
They all know. Well, get them here and we'll talk to them. They know the truth. That what they're telling you is the lie.
You get them here. You just said name them.
Yeah, I'm negative claim again. Negative claim
You're
again.
negative
No,
Nancy.
they're negative not.
And you
Stop lying.
still own a burden of proof, but
No, show Zant a Mason Glober that you know of. Let's talk to them. Where are they? Prove it. Provide evidence. They're not. They all know that the two pillars or the pillars, the checkered board
one of the guys
floor.
who I know who's a high up Mason.
They all know that checkered board floor means flat,
was,
and the pillars represent what could be holding the Earth up and all that kind of stuff. So they already know the secrets of the Earth.
Head of the American Chamber of Commerce in Canada.
Yeah, bring one here. Let's talk to one.
Why? They would think you're
I'll
ridiculous.
explain.
Go find your own fucking Mason, pussy.
I'll show you that they know all the secrets.
I know
the
tons
Earth.
of them. It can't be that difficult. They're all over the place.
Yeah, so you make stuff up.
No, I'm
He
not
has
making
been summoned by King Tito. Please comply. Thank you.
Yeah, my father's a Mason. He's part of the.
Yeah.
What?
Illuminati?
You don't even know what order he's from. Stop talking nonsense. Bring him here. Let's.
It's the Scottish Rite that they have.
Go find your own fucking Mason. Chemo, just go outside for once in your fucking life and go find you one, and then you can bring him here.
Suzanne, provide your Masons that say it's a globe. Not one of them. If they're proper Masons of degrees, not one of them think it's a ball.
No, you're ridiculous.
Scott's dad? Oh no, Scott's dad wasn't. I'm sorry.
Like I just got done saying my father was a Mason. He definitely thinks the Earth.
Lying.
No.
Yeah, prove it.
Yeah, I don't need to prove that.
Yeah, just make
you
up stories. Like I said, no Masons think.
Just pull a chemo and be like negative claim. I don't have to prove anything.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, fine. Then he wasn't.
What you said.
Good. He wasn't a Mason. That's a negative. Good.
No. He was a Mason.
He was. That's a positive.
No, he's saying he's not a liar, which is a negative claim. So he don't have to prove that.
Well, again, nice stories, Ant, but you've made stuff up.
Nice story. That's all you did. We're just pulling a page out of Chemo's book.
Well, just provide any Masons that think they're on a ball.
I already did. Just told you one.
What did your dad say?
It's a ball, obviously.
How are we going to know that? Exactly.
Because he knows it. He's informed. He's a high degree Mason. He's informed. Chemo.
Yeah. One of the secrets that they revealed at the 33rd degree is how they were dumbing down the American population through the use of flat Earth.
Well, people are becoming very dumb because of the Jesuit indoctrination in these public schools. They teach compliance but not critical thought or any sort of foundational truth, since they're based in moral relativism.
For you, Lemon, they failed to teach both.
That's okay. Even if that were true, Lemon, I'd rather that than worshiping your fucking egotistical, angry God that endorses rape and murder and beating slaves. So
yeah, that's because you're the seed of Cain, so it's all right.
Well, what's the alternative? You have Darwinian cutthroat atheists pushing will to power and no consistent foundation of truth of any sort. We're just trying to cut each other's throats and get to the top of the heap so we can enforce our version of truth. It seems like we went from bad to worse without a foundational truth enforced by some sort of quasi-religious conception of
There's
some
nothing fucking
sort.
worse than endorsing slavery and rape, you fucking disgusting piece
And
of shit.
Christians ended the slave trade, so there appears to be something about this God they serve that is a God of freedom.
And God wasn't talking
Christians
to,
didn't
your
end the
people,
slave
Pure.
trade.
Pure, all of that.
And
God
they were
wasn't
fighting other
talking to.
Christians.
God wasn't talking to your people, Pure, in that moment. It doesn't refer to you.
And if you have
Nobody was
spiritual
talking to you,
slavery,
Kimo. It doesn't refer to you. Shut the
spiritual
fuck up.
anarchy or Patrick Anarchy or whatever the heck your name is, well, then you're going to have bodily slavery in turn. That appears to be the order: spiritual slavery to sin, and then physical bondage.
And my thing too is with slaves themselves, didn't they? Most of them weren't they Christians? The ones that were actually on the.
No, the African slaves were not Christians.
They were Christianized later, but everybody's made slaves out of everybody else. It's just a cultural institution.
Yeah, who did the Muslim slaves? Didn't they have like the most slaves for a while?
They slaved
more Canadians.
What about this? The shape of this Earth that we're supposed to be living on?
Hold on.
Is there any
Hey,
science?
Mr. Reality, are you seriously
any
trying to
science,
condone slavery as if because it was common,
I mean, it's
therefore
bad.
was okay?
Bad. It's
Are you
wrong.
fucking serious right now?
It's wrong.
No, we're talking about
We agree. It's naughty.
Christian versus
Don't do it.
Egyptian theology, like who would own slaves and why would they own slaves? What did the slaves worship?
Goodness sakes.
We know, like,
It doesn't matter what the slaves were.
Ancestors, some sort of.
They probably worship their fucking freedom and not getting beat.
Just Bible bashing time. That's all this is. But
I think there was some Hebrewism
is a
and
guy
some
that-
Christianity among the
Bible bashing?
It depends on who they went to for slaves. But in Africa currently, they have spiritism, they have ancestor worship, some voodoo-like practices, some magic. Yeah. They still hack to death albino people for their magical body parts.
And you worship a magic sky genie that fucking endorses slavery, endorses rape, endorses murder. Congratulations.
Are you sure not worshiping Satan, Lemon? That sounds like
the Bible says where the Spirit of God is, there is freedom. And the Bible was so endorsing of freedom, they had to give the slaves a Bible that took several chapters out, like the Exodus from Egypt, where they were freed from bondage from the Egyptians. So your narrative isn't working.
It never happened.
That never happened.
Yeah, it never happened, but no, Lemon.
You have a perverted idea of freedom being freedom from God. All it is freedom to sin.
Motherfucker, Peter even told them I think it was Peter or Paul, told him, obey your master, even the wicked ones, you lying fucks. And this ain't just Old Testament, it's in the New Testament also. Congratulations.
And whoever you serve will be your master, be it your flesh, sin, Christ, or God. That's what's perverted about your idea of freedom from God. It's freedom, it's a slavery to sin.
When Jesus was around, he said he didn't come to change the old law, not a jot or a tittle.
Yep, that's because Jesus came and fulfilled the law. And Jesus fulfilled the law.
Yeah, that's true.
He didn't fulfill a fucking thing. He fulfilled his fucking pockets from idiots.
Probably. How long until your feral, Luciferian, satanic, atheist children are just killing each other? 1 generation, 2 generations, 3 generations. How long until they're just tearing each other apart without God?
I don't know. How long did it
tearing
take
the children apart?
Burning people alive.
More people have been killed in the name of God than all other causes combined.
And now satanic communism is going to try to outdo them all.
Lemon, are these the lost sheep of Israel?
His sheep know their master's voice.
I mean, these are the seed of Cain. So it's already in their heart and their spirit to murder, to lie, you know, to.
No, who are we murdering? Because it seems like you guys, really, because you guys, in the name of your fucking God, are killing more people than anybody.
You're killing babies for their parts for cosmetic creams and for medical research.
No, I don't.
And for your own idea.
No, I don't, Lemon. I don't wear cosmetic creams and I don't need them. So, no, I'm not killing any babies.
I don't know, Pat. I've seen a picture of you. Maybe cosmetic cream's the way to go.
That's because you haven't been unleashed as an atheist yet, Pure. They will unleash
I'm sorry,
you.
What's that, Chemo?
They haven't unleashed the atheist yet to fulfill your own desires yet. See?
Oh, I have my own desires every fucking day.
Yeah,
I
but you
fulfill
haven't
my own
been unleashed.
desires.
Once they unleash you to fulfill
I'm
the full
unleashed. I'm
capability-
doing.
No.
I don't need to kill.
The law holds you back right now from doing what you really want to do.
No, I don't need any law to hold me back.
Yes, you do. Pure.
I just
follow the law.
No, I just know.
There is law and
that
order,
it's better
and you follow it.
for me. Okay, Chemo. It's better for me and the people in this community to not kill each other, so we can thrive.
Only because of the police
every day.
There. No police.
No, not the police.
You would
not
be
the police
like a wild
whatsoever.
caveman with a gun. A caveman with a gun. Think about that. Right? You would be living out your fulfilled
No,
atheist...
I don't need to.
What?
I don't need the police to know that harming another human being.
Yes, you do.
Or another person.
Because you're
no,
a
I don't.
wild animal. You evolved, and the police keep the wild animals
on your mama
in
every.
order.
I go wild on your
Look
mama
at you
every
now.
night,
Look at
bitch.
you now. Look at you now. You need to be kept in order. You're a wild animal.
Why are you asking people to imagine Americans?
Without the police, Pure, your full atheism would be unleashed. Okay? But you need to be tamed like a wild bull or a horse and kept in check.
Just like your mama needs to be tamed like a
You look at
wild
your
beast,
mouth,
and I do it
right?
every night.
Your mouth is vulgar.
Well, if you want to sit there and throw insults
and say you
make
need to be
accusations
tamed,
that
you're
you
like
can't
a bull in a
support,
china shop.
support your claim, Chemo. Where do I?
I'm saying you unleashed
prove
now. You're half unleashed here.
Prove that I need the police.
You're in a place where you know you can say whatever you want. So you say whatever you want. You wouldn't say this in another place that was policed differently. But in this environment, you get to get away and live a small, higher potential of your atheism and release it. You're unleashed. Now imagine that in the public.
So,
exactly. You'd be the most
Prove
destructive
that
person on the...
I require the police
to control
to
you
not
and tame
want
you.
to harm. No, Chemo, shut up. Provide evidence that I'm required to need the police to not want to harm and do harm to another person.
And why would you assume that only atheists would do this?
I'm showing you right now that you, in a server that allows you to say whatever you want, you do just that. You say whatever you want. Right? You're unleashed. Just a small percent. Now imagine you in the public with no police, no law,
evidence.
no court.
How do you know I'm not in the fucking public? I'm in the public right now, Chemo.
Yes, but you're still controlled. If you do anything wrong, you're going to jail.
No,
yes.
I just know that. No, Chemo.
Got to be a good little boy. Okay, follow
why
the rules.
do I? Again, Chemo. I already know. Shut up, Mr. Reality. I know right now that I don't want to harm people because, as a community, it is better to not do harm onto them so we can all thrive. That does not require the police.
No, that's not your reason. You're only saying that because
no, that
other
is
people
my
say it.
reason.
That's not your
That's
reason.
my reason.
That's other people's reasons.
No,
Are you
that's
speaking
my
for somebody
reason.
else? Chemo, are you speaking for somebody else?
Yeah, I know an atheist better than he knows
You
himself.
don't fucking know me.
As an atheist, yes, I know not me as
You
an atheist.
don't know
him being an
me.
atheist. I understand him as being an atheist than him better than himself.
Are you sure you're not putting your own rules on somebody else? Because you would want to hurt people
No,
without
because
the
the
law,
atheist
or without
will
your
be
God.
unleashed.
I know. I know. Like him saying that, burn like the Jews. We seen your true colors,
no,
Chemo.
no. That was
Yeah.
That was fabricated.
The Holy
Not at all.
Ghost is a restrainer, and we already have a tide of evil currently. If he is taken away, it'll just be bedlam. People will just feel free to do whatever the hell they want to do. This is bad enough with the restrainer here. How bad would it be if the brakes were taken off with God leaving this world? It would be awful. Awful.
Hey, Lemon, really, if the police are required, then why is it all the time do we hear about you fucking your Christian brethren diddling little boys and girls? Oh, where's the
That's
police
because
in
the
there?
church has been infiltrated by Satanists. The church has been infiltrated by Satanists.
Wrong.
I call no true Scotsman.
These are lying. These are fucking.
You are borderline Satanist, pure. Borderline.
Wolves in sheep's clothing.
You're not
Wolves
quite
in
Satanist,
clothing.
pure, but
Wolves
you're almost there.
You sound like a fucking
That to
parrot.
show how the foundational teachings, spiritual anarchy, lead to such diddling. You find such diddling in Satanism because people like Aleister Crowley say a preferential sacrificial victim is a boy of young age and high intelligence.
And
so
you have
taking
the name,
the
Satan
is just part and parcel of the
Nobody
horse.
cares what Aleister Crowley says.
and
We
you have
see
the
day
name Pure
in and
Anarchy,
day out,
Pure.
headline after headline, Christian preacher diddling little boys,
No,
child
after being
pornography
infiltrated by
found on
Masons, Satanists, and others.
That's like saying Hitler was a globe believer, right? So if all globe believers, they're like Hitler.
Pure, it sounds to me like you want to be
That's
saved,
literally
right? Because you have a a very, very, how to put it,
what? I have a better moral foundation than you fucking disgusting fucks.
So what's your metric? Yourself? You only lived for 70 years and you didn't create yourself. You were created by a triune Godhead. You were created by God.
No.
The Pure, what is it? You want to meet God? You want to speak to God? What's your problem?
I want you to prove your God fucking actually exists.
I know. What? You want to speak to
We're all
him? What do you
soon.
want to say to God once we prove it?
Well, prove it and then we'll find out.
Yeah, but what's the message?
We'll see what your absent father has to say.
You see, the problem with Satanism, spiritual anarchy,
was there.
The problem with
it means that you have to get spiritual.
It's power based. It just says I should be able to do this just because I can. Morality doesn't ask can we do it. It asks should we do it. So that is a critical failing of Luciferian Satanism.
Pure, do you know how to get spiritual?
No, it's not.
Pure.
Oh, I don't need to get spiritual.
Yes,
just
if you want to see God and
exists.
talk to God, you've got to get spiritual and remove the physical.
Why don't you take this biblical talk to get
So you see, Pure, you do want to get close to God. So now you've got to think about
not
the
at all.
spiritual world if you want to get close.
Chemo, you've never been religious. Shut up.
The Pure. You understand that this is a creation. God is above.
Prove it.
It's not because Pure. It's not a sky daddy anymore, right? Because we know the atmosphere ends where the firmament is.
It obviously is a sky. It's a sky genie.
No, because the sky ends where
it's a rapist, slave endorsing, fucking vicious murdering fucking
now, Pure.
Sky genie.
Not projecting.
This is Luciferian satanic Gnosticism where they call evil good and good evil. Why are we even listening to this crap?
But, Chemo, why do you think when we say sky daddy, we mean up in the atmosphere sky? That's not what that means.
It's not what that means.
It means he's out there
in
where
heaven.
we can't see him
in heaven.
and don't know where he is.
In heaven. Above the firmament.
No.
Above the firmament.
That's not what sky daddy means.
Yeah,
Get
above
it
the
right.
firmament in heaven. On the throne, looking down like a footstool.
No! You fucking idiot. Because if it's the creator,
Right, Pure, it's time to accept, like, if you want to get through this dome, you've got to become light enough. So we're too dense at the moment, we're too heavy, we need to become light, so you need to become spiritual. That way we'll get through the firmament, obviously, when we die, and, we're raised from the dead and stuff. Or if we're still here when the...
So now you're going to be... So now Chemo's going to be a zombie. He's going to be raised from the dead.
Well,
Jesus
again,
Christ,
it's just the body, right? But the spirit is what's the most important thing, right? You've got to get spiritual pure, right? And start thinking about the afterlife when you die, right? You haven't got much more time to go.
Provide evidence of an afterlife, Chemo. Jesus Christ.
Get spiritual. I'm showing you how now. If you get spiritual, you'll see it in your heart, right? You got to look within yourself. And also... there are temptations in the world, right? Say if you're trying to drink or smoke or see other women or do whatever. Those temptations are evil spirits trying to make you do something that you don't want to do. Right? And even if you do want to do it...
Well, if they were...
No. Even if you do want to do it, right?
Then why did your fallible fucking magic sky genie give me the ability to have these temptations if they're so evil?
To see if you can resist. It's all about
enough to let you choose.
It's all about resisting the temptation, right? It's like the apple. Eve was supposed to resist. She fell into sin. We now know good and evil. So now, would we? The question is, would we bite the apple pure? Would we be tempted to bite the apple?
Enough to give you this stuff? Do you love him enough to crucify your flesh and lay it down at the cross?
What? Have a bad fucking...
Hold on, Pure, the reason why I'm talking to you like this is because...
Your God...
Yeah.
Who fucked up and created everything fucking fallible and hated mankind.
This is not a debate.
Sacrificed himself onto himself for a fucking day and a half.
I know you're angry,
had
but
a
you need
bad
the spirit
hangover
of,
weekend.
You need the spirit of the Most High.
I'm not angry. I'm talking past
this is the
you
atheist
since you're so fucking
look. You're angry. This is the evil
to just sit there
within.
And talk.
Remove so
your magic.
Well, maybe he does have a point, Chemo.
I do have a point, and you know what? We can just do this all three of us, all at the same time. Or I'm going to finish my point, and then you can respond to that. So
you've still got evil spirits in you.
Your magic sky genie, who made everything fallible in his own rules,
not a genie,
and hated everything about humanity, decided to sacrifice himself unto himself,
not a genie,
and put his fucking himself in a cave for a day and a half before returning to never engage with humanity
You're not making any points here.
He was on the so basically is a bastard father who just went to the other side of town to never see you again.
Right, you can call all the names that you like. I understand that you're upset with father, but you are a child of the Most High. He created you pure.
No, my parents did. My parents did by fucking.
He created your parents also, and their parents,
no,
and their
he
parents,
didn't.
and their parents.
And
their parents, and their parents, and their parents, all the way back to Adam and Eve.
Chemo, do we have to go through biological
all the way
reproduction
back
again
to Adam and Eve?
No.
Well, the thing is, we need something to jumpstart it. I mean, otherwise you get an infinite regression there, Anarchy. And God would jumpstart it by making the first man and woman.
What? No evidence of a first man or woman.
Mr. Victory, we will.
I thought that they talked about a mitochondrial Eve and a genetic Adam that everybody more or less traces back to, or at least 3 haplogroups.
No, they don't.
That kind of sounds like the 3 sons that got off of the ark with Noah.
Just point out to Pure, this is not a debate.
They didn't.
If he wants to talk about
somebody
religion,
on the ark named Eve.
then we'll have to
They're
preach
dumbass.
to him and save him.
Genetic.
Why are you still obsessed with incest, Lemon? Why does it all have to come back to incest?
But we can talk about different topics.
I guess to jumpstart things, something has to occur.
Look, God spoke things into existence. That's it. There's no debate.
Well, the thing is, Anarchy, we need to have some sort of moral accountability, because if God really wanted to save himself the trouble, he didn't have to create us in the first place. So there needs to be levels of moral accountability, because if God wanted to go there, he didn't have to create us in the first place. That's self-defeating.
Look,
for us to be around, period, God had to create us. And so there's going to be some trade-offs from there. Now we are morally accountable for our own life.
You're going to have to bow down, Pure, to the most. Anyway, when Jesus returns, you're going to bow down anyway. Right? It says, every knee shall bow, and you, if you're still here, are going to bow.
And he said that he was going to fucking return before his followers.
No, well, again,
the end of his followers'
God
life.
returning, Jesus returning, you're going to bow down whether you like it or not. Accept it.
Prove it.
You
Prove
will.
It. The thing is,
you may rebel.
We'll see. We'll see, Pure.
Wrong, Chemo.
We'll see.
Chemo, he already got it wrong when he said that he was going to return within the lifetime of his disciples.
Yeah, you
They're
don't
all
understand that
fucking
you're an
dead.
atheist. You have no spiritual understanding whatsoever.
He's supposed to have been coming back for like what?
You have no
1700 years
or discernment. I cannot expect an atheist to get it.
But I thought that he had several different comings, several different advents.
Bible room.
I thought he had at least like 3 or 4 different advents.
I know. I agree, but Lemon wants more.
You're the one carrying this conversation. Don't fucking lie.
Oh, I take responsibility also, but
all right, well,
I am ready to move on.
Change this.
Pure, I'm just saying, Pure keeps bringing it up. That's the problem as well.
Yeah, and
no,
you
I keep responding to your comments.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Are you done with being
keep egging it on, and you're the one. Wait, I'm talking here. You're the one who keeps telling us when we discuss this shit to move it to another room. Now it's your turn.
No, it's right. You're right. I agree. I've been trying to say this, but I did try to change the topic to the globe earlier on, but I was over.
Well, that's good. It is a globe. Thank you for confirming that it's a globe.
Right, and there's
Good
no
job.
evidence of that globe.
Carry on.
But yeah, we can definitely get back into the heliocentric nonsense.